So a lot of times in Africa, you hear most people talk about village people, especially in Nigeria. You hear village people are doing this, village people are affecting this person, and village people is doing this person. Or you hear this word, your village people has followed you, or your village people are doing this. In this video, I'm going to explain to you what it really means for village people to follow you, or who the village person that is following you really is. So I remember my mom shared a story with me some few years ago concerning my uncle. My uncle works as one of the chief distributors of Coca-Cola then in the 80s and 90s. So he wasn't very literate, but he worked prudently and very hard. So which afforded him to make some huge money he made then while working with Coca-Cola. So he had a lot of money. He was very rich per se. So he made some huge money. But unfortunately, there this particular day he was driving home. So he encountered some people, let me call them scammers, on his way home. So, and they asked him some questions and they talked with him and all those kind of things. So, after some discussion with him, they were able to deceive him. You know, all those scams that usually happen then. I think now most people don't usually fall for that, but then it was quite rampant and many people fell for that. Those kind of, and someone will bring up some papers, do some abracadabra, and they convert them to money. And they told you that this is money, so you should use this, or if you bring a particular money, they can give you a bunch of papers and you can convert them to money and all of that. So that was what they did to my uncle. So they brought in some papers, they did some conjuring, and they converted it to money. I don't know how they did that, but I think it worked for them, or it worked at that point in time. So they asked him to go and bring some money for them to be able to give him some millions of naira in exchange for that particular money. So he went and brought in some millions of naira, his business money. You can imagine that. They brought in some millions of naira to those people. So, and what they did was they gave him some Ghana must go of newspaper. Those newspaper, that Ghana must go contain newspapers. So they told him that while driving home, he should be counting poles while going home. This happened like 20 years ago, 10, 50, 20 years ago. So, and he did that. Drove home, count poles, and all of that, what they told him to do, only for him to get to, unfortunately, open the bag of Ghana Must Go. And what he saw, alas, was newspapers. Nothing, and nothing like millions, nothing of that. So that was how they scammed him of millions of naira. He felt that day at home crying like a baby. Everybody was surprised, well, what really happened? So, but when he sat down, he explained everything to his wife. His wife was telling my mom then that our village people has finally attacked my uncle, because as of then it was more like the villagers are after his success, after his riches and all of that. She said they have successfully attacked his wealth, his village people. I mean our village witches and wizards and all of that. So when my mom was telling me that, I sat down and I asked my mom. I said, "Mom, what are you trying to say? You mean that my village people came, or the village witches came and attacked my uncle, or my uncle fell for that scam and all of that?" So, but I think the wives belief then was more like the village people has finally succeeded in capturing her husband, which is my uncle. So, after my mom said that, I sat down and I thought about it a little while, and I said, so can you imagine the full blame and responsibility for my uncle's financial woes was shifted directly to the village people, not my uncle's naivety or bad decision. So I sat down and I thought about it. I said, wow, can you imagine how people shift blames to people or to something that probably doesn't even exist? So, but since after that experience, my uncle has never recovered from it again. And not because he couldn't, or not because he wouldn't be able to do so, but because he kept whining and complaining about it to whoever cares to listen, that his village people or his village witches have successfully attacked him. And that invariably affected him so badly that he couldn't rise up from it again. So he just decided to share it with whoever cares to listen. Okay, now you may want to ask me, what am I driving at, or what am I really trying to say? Okay, but before I go into what I'm driving at, or the point I'm about to make, I want to ask you this simple question. Who do you think is responsible for my uncle's financial woes? Was it his village people? Was it him? Or was it the money doublers per se? So I think you can drop your comment below who you think is responsible for that his financial woes. Now to make my point clear on this, in Africa, especially Nigeria, many people have been brainwashed with this so-called belief that village people are witch hunting them or chasing them or affecting their destiny, even though it's evidently clear that their bad decisions and choices are what has kept them where they are. But you see them blaming village people that probably are on their own without having any knowledge of what is happening to them or to you. You see someone facing normal challenges in business and they blame it to village people. You see somebody go out there or sit down at home doing nothing and not making money, but you see them praying day and night, casting village people while sitting down at home. But to me, I sit down and I ask myself, if village people are so strong or they are so important, why aren't they affecting people like Dangote, Otedola, and many other people out there that are doing things or making money? Or if you're a village person and you think you're a village youth and you're so strong enough, why don't you go and attack people like Dangote, or why don't you go and attack people like Otedola, or even Jeff Bezos, or why don't you use that to make money for yourself? I think people need to sit down and think for themselves what really is affecting them or what is really the cause of their downfall or their woes, rather than sitting down and blaming the village people that they could go back to, go and help or change their lives or make the places better. But you see them sit down and they're talking about them for no reason and on no account. Now I'm not trying to dispute the fact that some spiritual or witches activities exist there, but it's whatever you believe that affects you. If you believe that spiritual activities can affect you out there, your village can affect you, then they affect you. It's as simple as that. But I see no reason why you sit down and you are praying every day, day and night, praying to your God, and at the same time you are afraid that your village people are attacking you, or they are the cause of your downfall, or they are the cause of your failure, or they are the cause of things that you are not achieving, or the things you are not doing for yourself. Why sitting down and doing all those blames rather than believe in the God that you pray for or every day that you serve every day? Now, let me say something. If you're one of those people with that belief, this 2020, this new era, this 21st century, delete that mindset. It's doing you no good at all. No witch is haunting you. Village people don't have supernatural ability to alter your destiny. Life is what you make for yourself with a mixture of luck and misfortunes. Our limitations make us seek help from the supernatural, but we must embrace our limitations and promote our strength. The world advanced in human technology and medical sciences by humans who simply push their human abilities. Outcomes are influenced by actions and not by village people. If you want to succeed, you stop giving excuses or blaming village people that you need to go and help them, and rather come back and think and do something for yourself. If you want to succeed, you stop making excuses. You stop giving complaint. You stop blaming others except yourself. The mind can achieve whatever it is capable of conceiving. History has proven this over and over again. Unspiritual men invented Facebook, invented Amazon, and invented the smartphone, the PC, and invented the cure for malaria and many other sicknesses, and even top-notch technologies we enjoy today. It all started from their mind. Renew your mind as far as your eyes can see. Become what you believe. It's that simple. I'm not trying to tell you not to believe whatever you want to believe. Whatever you want to believe, you believe it. But if you are believing what's not working for you, I think it will be better for you. You change the belief to what you think will work for you. Listen to this. A man who prays and works diligently will succeed. A man who doesn't pray and works diligently will succeed. A man who prays and doesn't work diligently will fail. A man who doesn't pray and doesn't work diligently will also fail. So it is common sense for we to know that diligent work is the common denominator for success. Every other thing we're doing just makes us feel good. A professional surgeon will perform a successful heart surgery without prayer. He will also do so with prayer. A lab physician will fail at a heart surgery without prayer. He will also fail with prayer. The outcome isn't determined by the spiritual. It's determined by the training acquired. But what about things our actions can't control? Luck and misfortunes determines the outcome. The barren has conceived among the religious and irreligious. Inexplicable healings has taken place both on spiritual and non-spiritual settings. Believers and non-believers have escaped fatal accidents. Both experience great misfortunes. The hotel collapses and kills hundreds. The church collapses and kills hundreds. There are no disparities. The rain falls on the righteous, both on the unrighteous. So those things are not determined by spiritual. Luck and misfortune happens to them all. Are things hard for you? Check your habit. That may be the witch haunting you. Consider your laziness and your bad choices. Those may be your village people. If you are insolent, you are rude, you have bad manners, shouldn't you rather work on that habit rather than looking for one prophet to the other, going to and fro and praying that your village people are the ones behind your woes? That mindset change will do you good a great deal. In this 21st century, do away with that mindset. It's doing you no good at all. As my uncle, to me, his bad decision and naivety led him to be scammed and not treating the village people that they are pointing. And if he had walked out of that belief and that thinking, it would have done him a lot better than the mindset he was having about that. So work on that habit and work on that mindset. It will really help you a great deal. To end it, I'm going to leave you with this quote of mine to ponder upon. Show me a man who prays every day without corresponding action, and I will show you a poor and lazy man who lacks wisdom with no future ambition. Faith without works is dead, says the good book. Sailor.